Hello, my name's Hank Suttala,
And I'm Casey McBride.
and we're here with another fun episode of Stir Crazy Shamans. Welcome, everyone. We have some very exciting news today. Casey got a new camera.
I did. Look at it. Look how you can see all the individual hairs of my beard now. Not that anyone's really excited about that except for me, but just had to throw that out there. It is. I paid like, what was it? It was $40 for this camera, and the brand name is Webcam. If that tells you anything. But no, I'm really happy with it. That's the thing is all the like Logitech webcams and things I was looking at have all been completely sold out, even on the manufacturer's website. So I guess they've just started like right, Amazon or whoever has started mass producing generic webcams. And no, I'm pretty happy with it so far. Everything looks pretty good. Although, interesting little thing, I have a bright light on. If you reduce the light, look at that. It keeps most of the video quality, but I go black and white, and I just thought that was really
It
fascinating.
is very weird.
So, I don't know what they did, but I guess people like color, so we'll turn the light on. So I've been having a really cool experience with. Uh, I've been filming these little like healing demonstrations with people, but it's made me realize a couple of things, and one is that like healing of even like really stubborn physical pain can happen very, very quickly. And I've always known this, but just practicing it, doing these demonstrations is really shows that, we will put a whole kind of like ceremony around the healing session, but the energy work in order to shift something can happen in a matter of a few minutes. Like a friend, I was at the Metro Parks and that video will be coming later today. He'll be uploaded. I think I'm going to do it to Shaman's Way. But it's just like a 5-minute video of me running some energies, doing a healing session for a friend. And before he had like real bad pain in his hip and his knee and his leg. And then afterwards, the pain was just completely gone. And it's so much fun to film those videos. So, yeah.
I forget if I told this story or not, but was it Zane who told this? I forget. Well, there was some shaman, I believe a Caro, that you would go for the session and they would just kind of sit in the hut and talk to you, and you'd have like a drink or something like that, and at the end they would like shake your hand, and then when the moment they shook your hand they did everything. They like would go through and just balance all the energy centers, and like everything was done, just in a matter of the time of a handshake, and that was it. And I was like, whoa, man. And I played with it once. I was at a holistic fair, the whole Harmonic Journeys fair in Rocky River, I believe. It's hard, all the events blend together. But I thought I'm going to just try it. So I just told someone I'm just going to shake your hand, and I just want to see what your experience is. And when we did it, I had the intention, just all the energy center just kind of slipping into alignment and congruency. And they actually like jumped almost like they got zapped or something. And like, oh, they're like, wow, that was, I feel so good. And just another testament, like healing doesn't have to take a long time, unless that's your point of view about it.
Right, and in those cases, like even him, he needed a little bit more of the with even the 5 minutes. I probably didn't need 5 minutes, but I had to create that context to kind of get him to step out of his sort of I don't know how to put it. You have a better way of putting it. Stepping out of whatever. How do you say
Yeah,
it?
like the ego side, like, or the side. There's a part of us that if you spent so many years like around something and kind of got to where you're at, and you have all this story behind it and all this stuff, like sometimes you just need a little bit of reframing in order to allow the healing to happen so fast, where the scales don't have to be equal in time. Like I spent 20 years getting here, I need to spend 20 years fixing myself. Not the case. And we sometimes the brain just needs a little help being reframed so it can receive the healing that could be instantaneous.
But and it's I don't know. The universe is just well. Actually, it started with my foot. I had Hank. We had the episode the day after it happened, but I had my foot up and everything, and I was on a hike, and some old injury got re-aggravated. It was really, really painful. Um, and we were running all kinds of energies to try and fix it and all this stuff, and the pain was just getting worse and worse. And Spirit told me like this is going to be fixed in like an instant. And when it does, it's going to help like something click, not for just you, but like all the people that you work with doing healing. That like will really be a very direct internal experience of like healing can happen instantaneously like that, even like really intense physical pain. And then we were in the apprenticeship, and Zane, our teacher, guided us through this process of going through like sort of like a creation experience, like from the isness and like nothingness through like the first creation and like out into the all of the various forms of the universe until eventually we finally came to like the earth and creating all of the mountains and the animals and the people, and then to us. And then in that moment, I was like, you know what? I am that. I am that which did all of that. That created the entirety of all of the complex forms of the universe. If I am that, then there's nothing holding me back from instantly shifting this. And as soon as I had that thought, I saw just kind of like this beautiful like geometry in my foot, kind of like do like a 360 rotation, and then something clicked and the pain was basically gone, 95% gone. But compared to what it was, I mean, it was an excruciating pain, and it was virtually non-existent. And then over the course of the next day, the remaining 5% was completely gone.
That's
And
awesome.
and so I've been working with a lot of people, and I do you know, I'm a massage therapist, so I have some clients that come to me for massage, and more of them I now are being converted into energy healing clients, which I love. But a lot of them come in for massage, and you know, say, oh, you know, my back really hurts or whatever, and maybe I'll be working on their neck and shoulders, and I'll go, hey, there are some like energies or spiritual beings, depending on how open they are, that want to come in and help with your back while I'm working on the neck. Is that okay? And I go, yeah, you know, I'm open to whatever. And then, you know, I'm just working on the neck, doing my thing, talking. And then these energies are running, and like my spirit guides are helping. And then it like will happen 100% of the time. The person goes, whoa, what was that? And then next thing, like the pain in my back, it's like someone just like yank something out and it's gone. And I sit there, you know, now I'm starting to realize more and more, you know, massage is great. It's a beautiful healing modality, but energy healing is so much more powerful and effortless that, you know, I really, I just all of my clients now, I'm starting to communicate more and more the how incredible the energy healing aspect of all of that really is.
You know, are you familiar at all with an energy practice called Lomi Lomi, which is Hawaiian hands healing?
I have had a little bit of Lomi done by a couple of people who like went to Hawaii for like retreats and trained, but I've never. I don't really know a whole lot about the.
Well, I cheated. I went to Lilydale where they brought one of the people there, so that's where I had my little run-in and some training with it. But the thing that I find significant, and that they say that the healer is that all you're there for is the observance of the miracle of the healing itself, the healing that the person brought with them, and the healing all happens in the moment between breaths where you're neither inhaling or exhaling, where you're truly in like that still point. And
Yeah.
if you're just tapping into that, and then everything just occurs, and you don't have to do anything, or it's more what you're just being there in the moment to be the witness of what they're willing to receive, is kind of the idea behind a beautiful modality for anybody who's looking for something. It's a different than Reiki. It's not the same at all. Very different. But in terms of people's experience, oh no, it's a whole nother league. So whatever you're looking to get into, that would definitely be a contender for like a starting modality or whatnot for me.
Mm. And speaking of that sort of space in between breaths, one of the tools I've been using a lot during healing sessions that prior to like the start of this year, I didn't really use all that much in my sessions, is light language. So I like sing in light language when I do these healing sessions. And on top of all of the incredible energy work, the energy exchange that happens through the light language, a really important thing that does for people is I've noticed, and people have told me this like through feedback, that it helps them to step out of their head. They have that beautiful singing that they listen to, and it's in another language, so they have no mental concept around it. So it helps them to really like step out of themselves and just be present. And I like the one client really wasn't even that open to energy work or anything, but I started to explain to her a little bit just about sort of the science of how sound healing works. just really like basic stuff. And she's like, oh, she's like, I can get on board with that. And so and one of the things I did is I was playing a crystal bowl as I was for a second, just to kind of demonstrate. And it was a massage session, so I wasn't really doing this healing. But I said, just focus on the area of your body that feels the heaviest. And I started to play this bowl. And she was like, oh, she's like, I'm kind of sad. She's like, what? And I'm like, when I went to focus on the area that was heaviest, it was my heart. And I said, oh, I'm like, well, we can work with that right now, and we can start to release that. And she's like, I don't know, I'm still kind of weirded out by the whole energy thing. I don't know about it. And so we went on, and I was massaging for a little while and talking, and then was kind of talking to her a little bit more about what I do. And I was just broke down like how that heaviness, like describing it as how we understand it in the tradition I'm learning as being hucha, just like a like a more dense vibration that impedes the flow of light energy that creates healing and all of that. And she's like, oh, okay, that makes sense too. And so I was working on her neck, and then I said, if you want, I can start to release a little bit of that heaviness in the heart. And she's like, yeah, I just don't know if I'd be able to like let go for it. And I was like, well, we'll just see what happens. She's like, okay. So I started singing in the light language, but then more importantly, I'd asked my spiritual beings and these energies to run to help drain out the heaviness and all this stuff. And I asked her how she felt. And I maybe did this for like 2 minutes total. She's like, wow, my heart feels like really light. She's like, I just feel good. She's like, I was feeling depressed before, and like now I feel like I can, like I'm good. I can take on the day, and like I feel really good right now. And she told me though, I don't think I would have been able to relax enough to experience that if you hadn't done the singing in the light language, because my mind would have just been going the whole time. So I really think that a lot of the tools we use, not just light language or sound healing, but a lot of what we do in ceremony, I think, is to get people to sort of step out of head space.
And one thing's we use the rattle a lot in the tradition that we use, or drums in some traditions, and all those can help put people into theta states. And theta is where the magic happens in most cases. There's even been studies where I forget his name. He does topographical studies and brain mapping of different healing modalities, monks who do meditation and all that, and shows what's actually happening in the brain. And you can see things like in shamanism or with access even, he did a whole thing that shows the effect on the PK region, where it can take your where your mind is and shift it to the place where you're more readily able to receive healing. And some people respond better to different things, and that's where it's important as a healer, you kind of tune in and be like, well, what is really going to create the greatest possibility here? And some people, it's like you with that lady, you're just kind of lightly touching in on these things, right? But then other people, it's just like, I'm going to do the whole on dance around the mesa, spit Florida water in the air, and the shaman is a showman then. Or it could be that simple handshake. And whatever you meet the person where they're at, and then use whatever tools are appropriate to shift and help them step into a different possibility of healing.
Yeah, and I don't know. I these past few days and today, I woke up just feeling like, man, I don't know. We can all of this stuff, be it physical pain or like illnesses or anxiety or depression or whatever it is. None of us have to suffer from that stuff. We can all work toward really healing from it. And the healing can happen, as I've been shown so many times recently. Healing can happen instantly or just within a matter of minutes. So yeah, no reason for all of us to be not feeling beautiful. If you need assistance in getting to that space, if you need assistance in releasing something, reach out to people like Hank and I, and let's all experience the magic together.
And I see we have a few people watching. We're streaming for the very first time today to another platform called Twitch. I believe it's called Twitch, right? And so if you're watching for the first time, from wherever you're watching from, this is a really interactive show. Like Casey and I are just talking right now, but if anybody has comments, questions, anything at all, you can put your comments in the box. We'll be able to see them in studio and bring them up. And that's for most of the places. If you're watching from Shaman's Way or Sonic Shaman or Holistic Health and Healing, we won't see comments from there. And for those, I did make a little note. The best place to see comments is on the YouTube stream. So if you go to YouTube, you can make comments there. But anything on your mind, like yesterday, we were like nonstop comments the whole time. It was wonderful. People had a lot of things that were going on for them, and we just kept rolling with it and speaking to it. And our conversation kind of went in a lot of different directions based on what was going on with people. So feel free to comment and participate.
Yes, please do. Yeah, that really, like I said, we want to hear what you guys want to hear about. We want to talk about what you guys are interested in, because, if it wasn't for you guys, we would just be hanging out together and talking, which would be awesome and fun, but we wouldn't be doing a live stream. So, let us know what you guys want to hear about.
Every single morning, and that's one reason I threw up for today, kind of like as a holder topic, Stillness, because I started reading this book called CWG Book 4, Awaken the Species. And it has just, every time I read it, just like even one chapter, I just get this huge sense of like this peace and calm. The other day, like stuff the kids were doing that would normally trigger me, like it didn't even hit the radar. I was just like, I just moved right through it, and it's just put me in such a great space. And that's also when I had the clarity, oh, I'm giving my notice for my part-time gig. They don't know that yet. So anybody watching from my place of former employment, surprise, I'm quitting on Monday. But
He's been so excited about this.
Well, I even had a dream last night about it. I dreamed like I'm calling HR, and it was like all this stuff like, well, do you need the laptop back? Because I could use that if you don't need it back. And it's just this very odd conversation that I had in the dream, calling HR or whatnot. But I'll give my 2 weeks notice. If they still want me to come in for my 4 hours a week on Monday, I'll do that.
Well, that's very good of you.
No, but anyway, when you're in with the space that, like, from the healing space, the same space that we've been kind of talking about, that's where like these impulses from the soul come from, and that you can really like feel what direction is going to create the greatest possibility in your life. Then your brain starts thinking about it, and it starts to steer you out of taking that impulse. So like once you can get there and you can get that inspiration, and then you hang on to it and start implementing it, that's where the real magic happens and the universe unfolds. And as I stepped out of that, my business just swung up. I had people reaching out for appointments. I sold tuning forks yesterday to a random person that walked in to got us sleep, and he's like, do you know anything about sound? I'm like, do I know anything about sound? Let me take you next door. And that guy sold him some forks, and it was just really great. People signed up for the online apprenticeship. We might have 3 more people joining us for our virtual apprenticeship, which I actually posted a link to, because we talked about Zane, and then I was going to bring that up, and then I forgot. But if people are interested in getting a little bit of shamanism, there's a link in the comments for that. But just so many things started occurring just from getting into this place of being centered and then choosing in line with that inspiration.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is, like the universe just immediately showed you, like, hey, you freed yourself up from that thing that wasn't fulfilling you, bringing you joy. Like, here's all kinds of abundance, like in excess to replace that. Like yes, yep, that was the correct thing to do. Here you go. Yeah, no, but I think a lot of us sort of delay listening or acting in response to the messages we get from Spirit. And that's something that over the years I hadn't been as good about. But lately, when Spirit tells me to do something, I pretty much like jump on it and do it. And even if I don't understand why at the time, later on, it becomes really clear, like, oh, that was why I was supposed to do that. And when that's the thing, we're always receiving guidance from Spirit. And when we start to act on it without hesitation, that sends the message to Spirit that, hey, this is important information to me. And you'll start to get more and more of that guidance. And then just more and more magic will continue to happen.
It is awesome. And around this entire thing, we actually did an episode with Jameson. I'm seeing if I had the picture from it to put it up, but I don't see it. But it was called Inspiration, like Seize the Day, something like that. But if you want to go back in the archives, we spent like the whole time of that broadcast really talking about seizing the moment of the day and like really running with it. Because I had the awareness, I had like this inspiration for a book years ago, and every once in a while I go back and I start trying to write it, and it was like hitting a brick wall. And Spirit gave me the thing, well, the energy for that moment, for that inspiration has passed. Like, you may still be able to write about it, but the inspiration of today is different, and I have a whole different project I'm working on, and that's flowing. So it's like when you get those inspirations, act on them, and if you don't right away, then ask when you go back to it, if you go back to it, does it still have the same charge on it, or is there a new inspiration that would be more in line with the cosmos? Because it's almost like surfing, right? There's these waves of energy coming in, and you're hopping on these waves and surfing them to where you'd like to go and create. And it's like, well, you got the wave, but you didn't really get on it. Now you missed it. So now, like, you could still create that, but you don't have the same push from the universe anymore. And if you then the question is, well, where is the push to the universe? Where will I have a lot of flow around it? Or you need to create your own wave and then
Right.
surf it, because that's possible too.
Well, I know, like for me, there was a big wave and a lot of energy around like doing the
videos.
spirit guide mediumship that I was doing, and that felt really light and it was fun and all of that, and I made a lot of money doing it really quickly, and then all of a sudden it started to feel kind of heavy, and I wasn't really enjoying it nearly as much, and I was realizing that also a lot of these people, like it wasn't, I mean, they would be hearing what they needed to hear. Some people would feel really good afterwards, and some people were just left with like well, I don't know what to do anymore. And so like it wasn't creating a lot of lightness for 100% of people, like, which I don't think any kind of healing 100% of the time is going to do that. It can, but with shamanic healing, just as I was starting to do a little more work with my in-person clients, was starting to realize, like, wow, that's really where it's at. People come in with physical pain, emotional issues, whatever. They walk away feeling amazing. Like for me, without fail, like 100% of the time, they feel amazing afterward. And that just feels so magical and light. There's so much joy there for me in helping people like that. And so I was like, you know what, this is where I need to be going right now. So I'm doing so much. We got a lot in the works towards getting that out there to a lot more people. Speaking of,
yes, I was about to say, look at that. I don't have the thing for Sunday set up yet because I got distracted yesterday, but we can talk about it still. Like,
okay,
yeah.
So we are having a meetup at Huntington Beach. For those of you who are in the Northeast Ohio area or wherever, if you want to travel from out of state to come here, that would be magical too. But it's in Huntington Beach in Bay Village. We are having a get together and we're going to do a group shamanic healing session. So I'm trying to think of how to explain it. Basically, the group will meet and we'll do a sort of like facilitation for everyone, but then people who have more specific like pain or like some issue that they really feel they need focus on. I think really all we're going to ask in return is that if you want to come up for like a more personal, like quick focused healing session from the both of us or however we're going to do it, then we just ask that you allow us to film it so that we can get the videos out there and show people like what this is about to help reach more people. But mainly the big thing we're trying to do with this is one, make shamanic healing and all of this magic more accessible to people. We also want to normalize it. So, we want the videos to be out there to show people that this is, well, not only a very real and powerful thing, but two, it's something that, everyone can benefit from. It's nothing, like all that out there or whatever. We just want it to be a normal part of reality for as many people as possible. So, so that's we're trying to like film this stuff and get it out there on social media and all of that. So if you're open to that, and of course to be a part of the group healing, you don't have to be on video or anything. We just want whoever like is willing to do that to participate. But that's really, I think, we're going to ask, are we going to charge people or no? We're just going to have this be an open?
I think we were planning it to be open, but if people want to contribute, because in shamanism, specifically the Kara tradition of Peru and possibly others, I'm just not familiar with other traditions as much, but there's this concept called Aini, which just means divine reciprocity. So whether people choose to contribute financially or not, the idea would be that somehow the energy, you wouldn't just hold it, you would allow it to flow. So if that flow is in the way reciprocating via money or sharing the video of telling a friend, like you pay it forward somehow to stay in the flow of the energy of the universe. If you only take, then that creates hucha. If you only give, and you can't receive, that creates hucha. So the idea is there's always a flow of energy, and it doesn't necessarily have to reciprocate directly back to us. It could be you taking your experience and sharing it with someone in your family to create a lightness for them, and that is also being Aini because it's flowing with the energy. So so that's my Aini bit.
Yeah.
And I did just redo the meetup. I don't have the event up, but I'm going to put this in a banner. So if you want to join the meetup, I repurposed an old one that I had. So, but the web address is actually meetup.com backslash and then stir hyphen crazy hyphen shamans, or should I take the hyphens out? I don't know, but that is where it is right now. If you want to join the meetup, that will give you notifications when we're going to post in-person things like the group healings and stuff like that. And like next Wednesday we're going to do a virtual group healing, but we're eventually going to do things like that but all in person. In fact, maybe the ceremony and sound concert will shift to this because we already do one a month, and Casey was planning to participate anyway, so why not make that another event that we're doing this.
Right. And so yeah, and then I think we're also with we're going to be doing. I'm hoping Hank will be on board with this also. But we're going to be doing, like I said, the weekly, like virtual, maybe possibly in the future hybrid in-person group shamanic healing at the center. But then I would like to. We said we're doing the one on Sunday, but I would like to make that a regular thing also. And even if we could do that every week, I think that would be a really cool thing.
Two comments. Melissa commented on my personal profile, which we don't see the comments in studio, Melissa. I'm just curious. She was talking about the platform is much better, picture, sound, no delay, and clear. Are you referring to Twitch, I wonder, from when we were talking about that? And then Mike made this comment. Mike does driving for like Lyft and Uber and stuff like that, and he's asking us, did the person contact you from coast to coast? I gave him a ride after Bars Share. True story. So Mike, for those of you, do you know what coast to coast is? First of all, Casey? It's a huge show, like literally coast to. It's like George Norrie and people on Coast to Coast. Yeah. But anyway, Michael, no one has contacted us. I'm not sure which number or contact information you gave them, but I will look forward. Let's put it out there that they will reach out to us. That would be amazing. Like there's people like Patty Conklin who are like on Coast to Coast, and it like launched her business in a whole different direction. Like she's never been short of clients ever since. Like she's always just been busy. And anyway, that would be great, Mike. Thank you for doing a little einie for us there for all that. That's awesome. I look forward to them reaching out.
Yes.
So everybody put the attention out for us there.
Right. Yeah. So were we planning on doing both in an at the center one and at the beach thing weekly, or is that what we're planning to do?
I don't know if we can swing weekly for both, but possibly. I think as often as scheduling allows. And then there is going to be a weekend. I don't know which long weekend it's going to be, but I will be running off and hiding in the woods for about 4 days or so. So I shall be gone.
What are you doing in the woods?
I'm going to go train with Zane.
Oh, nice. Oh, I think I might know.
No, but yeah, well, I'm just going to go visit, and we have a lot of recording and stuff to do, which is way easier in person when I don't have to rely on his internet and stuff like that. So planning on doing that. I'm not sure exactly when, but that will be coming up sometime in the summer. So we'll either do some pre-recorded shows, or we just will have a little break where we won't have a show going. And John is saying good morning. Good morning, John. Oh, that's one thing I never thought about. We started earlier today. Normally we're like California's waking up, and there's a lot of people out that way that participate. They'll wake up and be like, damn, I missed it. So if you're watching on the replay and that was your case, we apologize. But I forgot, on Fridays I'm on at 10 o'clock with Dr. K for Holistic Highlights. Today's topic is insomnia, by the way. And we either had to come on early on Fridays, or we have to go later, and earlier is much better for both of us. So on Fridays, typically you're going to see us on a little bit earlier than normal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, I had a thought there, and then it just completely disappeared. How are we? I don't know. Where are we? Did we want to do a slightly shorter episode on that note? Or
Mike was bringing up something too. Was interested in the apprenticeship. I believe if you're talking about you, Mike, and you don't need to do any forms or anything. I've got you taken care of. I already talked to Zane about you. But for anybody else who's interested in the apprenticeship, just to give you a little overview, for one, you can go to stircrazyshamans.com, and there is a tab for the virtual apprenticeship. And starting next Thursday, it is 20 weeks of training around the Paco Cuna tradition of Peru, with a little bit of curandero, the coastal traditions blended in. The whole tradition is called the Qatari tradition of cross-cultural shamanism, because he does blend things from the different types of nature mystics in the area from different villages and different things. So if you're interested in that, that starts Thursday. Now the way that it would work is if you signed up, you get access to the past 7 videos. It was like an intro course that we would tell you there's 4 specifically you would want to do first to kind of catch up with the group, because it's kind of a continuation and building onto that. And then there would be a separate Zoom call with just the new people. We have about 3 new people joining us already, and just with a little bit of a ceremony around that, and then jumping in with the rest of the group. So if you're interested, now is the time, because you got 1 week to kind of bring yourself up to speed if it feels like to you. And we had a couple people, Joseph signed up who's been watching the show, and maybe another person. So it's been great. I'm glad people are taking advantage and choosing it.
Yes, absolutely.
But but we can definitely do a shorter episode. I mean, I'm not on until 10, so I got time. But if you need to get ready for your chiropractor day or whatever.
Well, I was just because I don't have that until noon, but well, I kind of felt the energy might have been kind of fizzling a little bit, and then I am going to edit that. I'm really excited about getting that video up that I filmed, and then I also am thinking. Oh, so another thing to kind of plug real quick while we're plugging stuff. I am going to be doing as often as as often as it feels late, I guess I should say. I'm going to live stream healings as well. So on top of the Hank and I getting together possibly twice a week to do things, I'm also going to be doing my own live streams like I was doing with the spirit guide mediumship sessions. But instead, I'm going to go live on YouTube and all the beautiful places. And I am going to bring on people who want to receive healing. I'm going to let them come on the stream with me. So if anyone's feeling brave during that and they want to come on and be on, I'm going to do just a quick little like 5 or 6 minute thing to focus on like painful areas or areas that feel really heavy or stress or whatever it is. So that I may do like right after this. I'll see whether or not it feels later to.
You're going to have to weigh editing video, doing fun healing work. I wonder what's going to win. I don't know. You really are excited about that video, so anything could win.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to post Casey's link to Shaman's Way if you want to, because when he does that stuff, he doesn't pre-schedule like we do on this channel. He just goes live. So the only 2 places for sure you will see it, if that happens, is going to be with going to the YouTube channel and subscribing to get the notification, or I'm pretty sure he would stream to his own webpage, his own Facebook page, Shaman's Way on the Facebook. So one of those 2, but preferably YouTube, because YouTube has the potential to reach out more. And if you subscribe and watch there, it tells Google, Google owns YouTube, tells them that it's relevant, and that will serve it to more people. So if you're ever going to go back and watch a replay, it definitely helps us a little bit if you do that over on YouTube, because it will get served more. Like already, we're only a 2-month-old channel, and it's been coming up on 10,000 impressions with like a 5% click-through rate, which I know that's a little shop talk, but that's really high compared to the industry average. So what it means is what we're doing and what people watching it, it's relevant, and we're getting served to more people. So if you want to give a little INI back to the show in that way, rewatch replays. If you're going to go through archives or whatever, do that all on YouTube. Give thumbs up, make comments. That all shows interaction, that people find it relevant, and then that can help it get served to more people, which helps us get our word out, which is always appreciated.
And I just wanted to show, because I know some people, I don't know if like the comments still go through on all the platforms after we've streamed. So that little logo right there, Shaman's Way, is what you will see when you search on YouTube or Facebook. And that way you'll know you're clicking on the correct channel, as it'll have that logo there. So just wanted to throw that up there.
Yep, and I did post the link in comments too, but I know that it doesn't go to like all the places that we're streaming to. So I can put it up on the banner, but it's a long thing. You're better off just searching for it, because it's just a whole bunch of random letters and whatnot to find the channel. And then for 10 o'clock, when I'm on with Dr. K, we're talking about insomnia. That channel on YouTube, for some reason, when you search for holistic health and healing, it doesn't show up. Don't know why. I'm not sure. I have no explanation for that, but you can watch it on the Facebook channel, or I'll send him a link. I have his number. Cool. I think he's talking about the guy now, Mike.
The Coast to Coast thing, right?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
like, if Coast to Coast guy also wants to be in the shaman program, I mean, like, how does it get any better than that? That would be awesome, though. Cool. Anything else, Casey?
Yeah, I think I pretty much touched on everything, all the good things. For those of you who are interested, in participating in the live stream reading, just hit the notification thing. It's really important on Shaman's Way because, like I said, I just kind of go live and do that at random times. So
Yeah.
that was my last little thing.
And I guess my final thing is starting, I believe, next Tuesday night. Sean Phillips and I are going to be doing a book group on Conversations with God, Book 4, Awaken the Species. It is not a book on religion. It is a book on spirituality. They just use the term God. So if God's like a trigger word for you, it's not like it's not what you think. It's just a dialogue back and forth between Neil Donald Walsh and Source Energy. So if there's any interest in that, highly recommend picking up book 4. You don't necessarily need to have read the book to participate, but we're going to start that on Tuesday, kind of working through that book. And it's all about humans really switching from being human doings into human beings. And it talks about the state of the world, written in 2016, might as well have been written yesterday. It's awesome. And Connie was saying she goes back to old shows. Thank you so much for these. Thank you so much for watching and going back and watching the different broadcasts and everything. And Micah says, like and share. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. He's always logged into some different YouTube. He comes up differently every time. Like, how many YouTube accounts do you have, Mike? It's always different. I don't know. That's just funny. But anyway, thank you so much for being here with us today. We are planning to be on tomorrow, right? I think so.
What's tomorrow? Saturday?
Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'll talk to you. I have early day at chiropractic.
Okay, so we may not be on tomorrow, but we will be on for a short episode on Sunday, though it may be recorded and then uploaded afterwards because we're going to be out in nature for that. So depending on if technology is working for us, we may just record it on the iPad and then upload it after. So there will be an episode Sunday, whether it will be live or uploaded later. Don't know. And last time it took over like 8 hours to upload the video, so it might upload like early Monday morning if that's the case. But we will do our best to get it uploaded ASAP.
So, and again, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for being present and being a part of this magical experience with us.
Yep, a Nike. We'll see you next time.